Welcome to my channel History Coins HD. If you love discovering hidden treasures and learning about rare US coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we'll reveal some of the most valuable coins that could be worth far more than you think. Stick around till the end, you won't want to miss what these rare gems are really worth. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel to enjoy more discoveries in future. Let's dive in. Top 1. Where history hides in your pocket change and where ordinary coins can unlock extraordinary stories. Today's episode is all about one small, shiny coin that has confused cashiers, captivated collectors, and, in some rare cases, completely changed someone's fortune. We're talking about the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins in American history. It's a coin with controversy, rarity, symbolism, and yes, serious potential value. So, if you've got one lying around in an old jewelry box, coin jar, or tucked inside a keepsake drawer, you're going to want to stick with us all the way to the end. Let's start at the beginning. It was 1979. The United States was entering a new era, and the US Mint was ready to make a bold move. After decades of large, heavy Eisenhower dollars, there was a push for a smaller, more convenient dollar coin, something practical, easy to carry, and modern. But the design choice was where things got really groundbreaking. Rather than featuring a president or a traditional male figure, the Mint honored Susan B. Anthony, a pioneer in the fight for women's rights. It was a powerful decision. Her determined profile was placed on the obverse of the coin, and with that, history was made. Susan B. Anthony became the first real woman to appear on U.S. circulating coinage, but despite the symbolism, the public response was underwhelming. Why? Because the coin looked just like a quarter. It was nearly the same size, similar in color, and led to endless confusion. People rejected it. Vending machines didn't accept it. Cashiers gave it back in change, thinking it was a mistake. The new dollar coin was quickly labeled a failure, but here's the twist: that lack of popularity? That awkward, premature retirement? That's part of what makes some of these coins extremely valuable today. You see, not all 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars are created equal. Most are worth just their face value. But a small number, due to rare varieties, minting mistakes, or pristine condition, are worth far more. And when we say rare, we're not talking about pocket change you find every day. We're talking about coins that have unique features, mysterious origins, or errors that make them the stuff of legend among collectors. One of the most well-known collectible types is the 1979 wide rim or near-date variety. This subtle difference happened when the rim of the coin was widened, causing the date to appear much closer to the edge. These were produced in a very limited batch before the Mint adjusted the dies. That minor design tweak? It's worth a lot to the right buyer. And then we have mint marks. Pay close attention to that small letter near the date. A P means it was minted in Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But it's the proof coins from San Francisco that especially excite collectors, because sometimes, even they have their own surprises. Some of the most prized Susan B. Anthony coins are mint errors, things like double strikes, off-center images, or coins struck on the wrong metal blank entirely. These aren't just accidents, they're miracles for collectors. Errors like these are often one of a kind and can fetch massive prices at auction. Even more captivating are rumors and reports of experimental strikes. There are whispers in the coin world about Susan B. Anthony dollars minted in unusual metals during testing phases, coins that were never meant to be released to the public. Yet somehow, a few of these mystery coins have surfaced in private collections, showing up with unexpected weights, colors, or finishes. But here's the real kicker: condition is everything. A coin that's been passed from hand to hand, used in daily transactions, and scratched over time might not be worth much. But one that's never circulated? One that's been kept in a sealed case or graded as mint state by a professional service like PCGS or NGC? That's where you start seeing big numbers, and this is where the magic happens, because while the average Susan B. Anthony dollar might only buy you a snack, a rare version from 1979 in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one with an error or a unique minting feature, can change everything. Now imagine this: you're going through a collection your grandparents left behind. Or maybe you're sorting coins from an estate sale. You see a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. It looks ordinary at first glance. But there's something different about it. The date is close to the rim. The color seems unusual. The condition is flawless, you send it off to be graded. Experts confirm that it's a rare strike, one of the few of its kind in existence, perfectly preserved, and then comes the appraisal. The auction. The sale, that seemingly ordinary $1 coin is now valued at $70,000. Yes, you heard that right. $70,000 from an overlooked piece of American history to a treasure worth more than a luxury car, and that, my friends, is why we search. That's why we check every coin. Because history isn't just in books, it's in your pocket. It's in your family's old change. It's hiding in plain sight, waiting to be rediscovered. So, if you've got a 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, don't spend it. Don't dismiss it. Examine it. Research it. You might just be holding something truly extraordinary. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and the hidden history of money, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to uncover a fortune. Until next time, keep looking, keep collecting, and happy hunting. Top 2. We're digging into something that most people overlook entirely. A big, bold, silver-colored coin that once defined American currency, and might just be hiding a massive surprise. Today, we're talking about the Eisenhower $1 coin from 1971, specifically, the rare and fascinating version minted in Denver, known as the 1971 $. What seems like a heavy piece of pocket change could, in the right condition and variety, be worth a small fortune. Now, don't be fooled. At first glance, this coin might not look like anything special. In fact, you might have seen one in an old drawer, a coin jar, or even in circulation, although they're much rarer to find nowadays. But this story is all about looking deeper. Because some of these coins, especially those struck at the Denver Mint in 1971, carry a mystery and a value that goes far beyond what's stamped on their face. Let's rewind for a moment. The year is 1971. America is still reeling from the turbulence of the 60s, Vietnam, the civil rights movement, moon landings, political shifts, and the country needed a unifying symbol. The U.S. Mint decided to honor one of the most respected leaders of the 20th century, Dwight D. Eisenhower. A five-star general, Supreme Allied Commander during World War II, and later, President of the United States. The Eisenhower dollar became the first circulating $1 coin issued by the U.S. Mint since the peace dollar back in the 1930s. It was bold. It was big. And it was different. On one side, you have Eisenhower's distinguished profile. On the other, a striking image of an American eagle landing on the moon, a nod to the Apollo 11 mission and the modern era of space exploration. Patriotism, power, and prestige all in one coin. But here's where things start to get interesting. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar came in different metal compositions. There were silver-clad versions sold to collectors, and there were copper-nickel-clad coins intended for circulation. The Denver Mint, marked with a tiny D beneath Eisenhower's neck, produced millions of these coins that year. So what makes one of them rare? The answer lies in the details. Not all 1971 D Eisenhower dollars are created equal. While most were minted using standard copper-nickel planchets, a small number were accidentally struck using silver-clad planchets, the same type used for collector coins minted in San Francisco. These are called wrong planchet errors, and they're incredibly valuable to collectors. Imagine a coin that was never supposed to exist, but somehow slipped through the cracks of history. But that's not all. Some coins from this batch were struck with incredibly sharp detail, leading experts to believe they were struck with early, high-pressure dies. Others show doubling on the lettering or date, a minting error known as a doubled die. Then there are coins with off-center strikes, weak strikes, or planchet flaws, each of which adds uniqueness and potential value, and as always, condition is key. A circulated coin with scratches and wear might be interesting, but it won't bring top dollar. But a 1971 D Eisenhower dollar in uncirculated, mint state condition? Especially if certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC? That's where things get exciting. You see, most people never bothered to save these coins. They were large, heavy, and awkward to carry. Many ended up in banks, in casino slots, or buried in the back of drawers. But a few were tucked away, carefully preserved, never spent, never touched. And those are the coins that collectors dream about today. And now, let's imagine for a moment you're cleaning out an attic, helping a grandparent sort through old belongings. You open a dusty container and find a handful of large dollar coins. Among them, a shiny 1971 Eisenhower dollar with a tiny D under the date. It looks different, heavier than others. The details on the eagle's wings are razor sharp. It has a shine that makes it stand out. You decide to have it graded, the experts examine it. They test its composition. They realize it was struck on a silver-clad planchet by mistake. The condition? Flawless. It's a rare, uncirculated 1971 D Eisenhower dollar struck in silver, a true numismatic gem, and then comes the value estimate. The auction house sets the opening bid. Collectors line up. Bidding is fierce. That ordinary-looking coin, the one you almost didn't bother to check, sells for a jaw-dropping $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000. That's the kind of discovery that changes everything. That's the power of knowledge, curiosity, and a little luck. So next time you see a big silver dollar, don't dismiss it. Look closer. Feel the weight. Check the mint mark. Because the next great coin discovery could be hiding in your hands. Top 3. We're unlocking the mystery behind a coin that many people overlook, one that's large, heavy, full of American pride, and for the lucky few, worth a life-changing amount of money. We're talking about the United States of America's Eisenhower $1 coin from the year 1972, specifically the one minted in Denver, also known as the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar. You may have seen one before in an old coin jar, at a flea market, or tucked into your grandfather's collection. But what you might not know is that this coin, under very specific conditions, could be hiding an incredible secret. Let's rewind the clock for a moment. The Eisenhower dollar was first introduced in 1971. It was named after Dwight D Eisenhower, the World War II hero and former President of the United States. This coin marked the return of the $1 denomination in coin form after a decades-long break. It also carried more than just political symbolism. It had historical significance, astronomical pride, and a bold design meant to reflect a powerful nation. On the front, you'll find Eisenhower's strong, commanding portrait. Flip it over, and you're greeted by an eagle landing on the moon, a tribute to the Apollo 11 moon landing just a few years earlier. That reverse design wasn't just patriotic, it was literally out of this world. Now let's zoom in on the 1972 D version of this coin. The Denver Mint produced a massive number of Eisenhower dollars that year. These were copper-nickel-clad coins, made for circulation, and used in everything from vending machines to casinos. So why would a coin made in such large quantities ever be worth more than its face value? The answer lies in a mix of rarity, minting errors, and condition, the holy trinity of coin collecting. First off, while the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar is not considered rare in general, there are very specific varieties and errors from this year that are extremely rare and valuable. For example, some of these coins were struck on the wrong planchets, meaning they were accidentally made using metal intended for other coins. Others were struck with misaligned dies, creating off-center images, doubled lettering, or weak strikes that collectors go crazy for. But there's one variety in particular that stands out, the Type 2 reverse. Now, most Type 2 varieties are associated with Philadelphia minted coins, but some experts believe that similar die variations may exist from Denver as well, just far less documented, making them even rarer. The key here is that most people never think to look. These rare die designs have subtle differences in the earth and continents on the reverse of the coin, something you'd only notice if you're really paying attention, and most people never are. Then, there's condition. Coins that were used in circulation have scratches, wear, and nicks. But if you happen to have a 1972 D Eisenhower dollar that was never circulated, one that has remained untouched, stored away, and preserved perfectly, it could qualify as mint state, or even gem uncirculated. That kind of condition is extremely hard to find, especially with coins that were intended for heavy use. And here's the exciting part: some of these rare varieties, especially in pristine, certified condition, have become prized treasures among collectors. When you combine a rare error or design variation with uncirculated condition and the right mint mark, you get something much more than a simple coin. You get a piece of American numismatic history. Imagine this: you're helping a relative clean out an old box in the garage. Inside, there's a collection of old coins. You spot a large, silver-colored coin with the bold face of Dwight D Eisenhower and the date 1972 underneath. You flip it over. The eagle soars above the moon. A tiny D rests just beneath Eisenhower's neck. Something tells you it's different. Maybe it's the condition. Maybe it's the shine. You look closer. The details are flawless. The lettering is crisp. You decide to send it off to a professional coin grading service. Weeks later, you get the news: not only is the coin in superb uncirculated condition, but it contains a rare strike error that was completely undocumented until now. Suddenly, that coin is no longer worth just $1. It's now the highlight of an upcoming auction. Collectors are buzzing. Experts are shocked. The coin, simple and overlooked for decades, becomes the center of attention in the numismatic world, and then the final hammer falls. That single 1972 D Eisenhower dollar coin, once hidden in a forgotten box, sells for $70,000. Yes, you heard that right. $70,000 from a coin most people ignored, to a once-in-a-lifetime payday. So what's the takeaway here? Never overlook the old coins in your collection. Take the time to examine them. Look for the mint marks. Check for unique details. Learn the difference between a common coin and a rare variety. Because just like that, your curiosity could uncover a treasure that's been waiting in silence for years. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss out on the next great coin discovery. There are still stories to be told, treasures to be found, and hidden gems sitting in drawers, wallets, and jars all across the country. Top 4. We're diving deep into one of America's most underappreciated dollar coins. One that most people overlook, but that might just be the key to an unexpected fortune. Get ready to explore the fascinating story of the 1974 Eisenhower $1 coin. And now, if you've ever seen one of these in person, you know they're hard to miss. Larger and heavier than most coins in circulation today, the Eisenhower dollar has a bold presence. It's a coin that looks and feels important, and it was designed that way. But even with its weight and history, most people don't give it a second thought. What they don't know is that one of these seemingly ordinary coins from 1974 could be worth a truly astonishing amount of money. Let's set the stage. The Eisenhower dollar was introduced in 1971 to honor the memory of Dwight D Eisenhower, the five-star general and 34th President of the United States. But it was also released to commemorate something else: the incredible success of the Apollo 11 moon landing. That's why the reverse of the coin features an eagle landing on the moon, a powerful symbol of both American strength and exploration. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar is part of this legacy. And now, coins from this year were minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Most of these coins were struck in copper nickel for general circulation, but some collector versions were made with a special silver-clad composition. So what makes one of these coins valuable? The key lies in a few very specific factors: rarity, condition, and minting errors. Let's start with condition. Most Eisenhower dollars were used in everyday transactions. They passed through countless hands, wore down over time, and lost the sharpness of their original details. But a small number were kept in pristine, uncirculated condition, stored away in coin albums, vaults, or proof sets. These untouched coins are highly desirable to collectors, especially when professionally graded as mint state or proof. Now here's where it gets really interesting: the rare errors. There are confirmed reports of Eisenhower dollars from 1974 being struck with significant minting mistakes. These include double dies, where parts of the design appear doubled. There are also off-center strikes, planchet errors, and perhaps most intriguingly, coins that may have been struck on silver planchets by mistake, creating a coin with a distinct look, weight, and composition that sets it apart from the standard issue. And while the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is often overlooked compared to earlier years like 1971 or the special bicentennial coins from 1976, that's exactly why you should be paying attention. Because it's during the quieter years of minting, when nothing big was supposed to happen, that the rarest surprises can emerge. Collectors are constantly searching for these error coins. Not because they're flashy, but because they're exceptionally rare. Most of these errors were caught by the mint and destroyed before ever reaching circulation. But every so often, one escapes. And when it does, it becomes a prized possession. Now imagine this: you're going through an old collection, maybe one handed down by a family member. You come across a stack of Eisenhower dollars. You begin to sort through them: 1971, 1972, 1976. And then you spot a 1974. It catches your eye. The shine is different. The details look unusually crisp. You feel the weight in your hand. Something about it tells you this one is different. You send it off to be graded. The experts begin their examination. They test the metal. They study the strike. And then the results come in. You're holding a coin struck in error. A rare 1974 Eisenhower dollar, perfectly preserved, with a minting anomaly that makes it one of a kind. Suddenly, that coin goes from being a historic memento to a headline-worthy treasure. Bidders from around the country start lining up. Collectors who've spent their lives chasing rare Eisenhowers prepare for a chance to own this piece of numismatic legend, and then, the hammer drops at auction. That single coin, once sitting in a forgotten drawer or passed down through generations, sells for an incredible $65,000. Yes, you heard that right. $65,000 for one Eisenhower dollar. From 1974. The very same kind you may have walked past at a flea market or ignored in a pile of old change. So, the next time you come across one of these big, beautiful coins, take a moment to really look. Examine the edges. Check the mint mark. Compare the weight. And if it looks unusual, too shiny, too heavy, or just different, don't dismiss it. You might be holding a fortune in your hand and not even realize it. Thanks for joining us on this journey into American coin history. If you love discovering stories like this, hidden treasures, rare finds, and valuable coins you might already own, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss an opportunity to uncover your own piece of buried treasure. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and as always, happy hunting.